Welcome. I am the teacher. Today, I'm going to speak on the number 9 here, which means completion. It is the last of the 10-digit numbers that I'm going to speak on. Like I have promised, I'm going to break down each number. I got the codes up here. Each of the codes are 45, which you break it down, it equals 9. 40 times 9 is 360. 40 in the holy books is a very significant number. I would talk about that as like a completed cycle, etc., etc. Here I have listed number 7, 5, 8, and 3. I just wanted to show you that 9 is the only number that if you add 9 to each, like you start at the number 7, and if you add 9, it gets to 16, 25, and etc., etc. I'm going to break that down too. I just want to show you what's on the board there. Number 9, I can actually talk about for eternity because it's never ending. But when you get to this state of understanding, okay, the universe can't do nothing but give you a 0. And what I mean by that, you have earned the right to go to the next level. So like I have been mentioning, we are living in the times of the Son of Man. Okay? We are into the original thought. We are in the process of making all things new. A lot of scripture says there will be a new heaven and a new earth. We have dealt with the matter long enough where, in other words, we have dealt with the external, not paying attention to all that is within. In order to make things new, you have to come with original thought. It can't be things that have already manifested. We spend too much time studying things that are already here. We don't know how to calculate and put things in motion that is coming new. A renewalness. And throughout scriptures, no matter if it's Muhammad, no matter if it's Jesus, or to whomever, everybody's waiting for a reformer to come and take you to the next level. In the Bible, it's the Son of Man. In the Hebrew religion, it is the Messiah. In the Islamic faith, it is the Mahdi. And you know, we've been hearing this for generations after generations after generations. And now it is upon us because you have to know the harmony that is going on now. As far as people, when you work the lessons and come into understanding of mathematics, you are creating a harmony. You are creating a frequency that will show you life in its purest form instead of you dealing with things that have already been manifest. You know about dirt, but do you ever think about, what all goes into in creating everything that you see? And everything what you walk upon, everything that you touch, it should be in the form of life experience. Instead of you saying that you're talking to a black man, instead of you saying you're talking to a white man, instead of you saying that you're talking about anyone's ethnicity, or even if you want to talk about genders, or I'm talking to a man, I'm talking about a woman, that doesn't have to be defined, but the thing that makes us equal is to understand that you're talking to life. So everything that you see in the universe is life. Everything you see in the universe that was created by the universe and now man vibrates. Rocks have a frequency. Rocks have a vibration. The earth is spinning. Everything is moving. Life is never static unless it's done moved on and it has passed and the body returns or the material returns for where it came from. There is a process of passing. It goes into effect. So the completed state means you go to the next level as the number 9. So each code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 483 726 159 753 186 429. Each one of the codes, of course, equals 45. And the codes are always going at the same time. So, it's always in a completed state. Those are representatives of the patterns of life. I just have it written in the code form that broke it down into the 3 squares. It's like when you look at the Orion's belt and you look at them 3 stars up there, that is significant of the 3 patterns of life. The pyramids were laid out like that. The 3 great pyramids and Giza was laid out for that, and they represent each pattern of life because it was all about harmony. It was all about putting things in motion. It was all about passing on the energy and the harmony of that time. It is about connecting life with life. Now, you look at the number 40. 40 is throughout scriptures. It's like a generation. 40 days and 40 nights. Jesus fasted for 40 days and told Satan to get behind him. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us for 40 years, etc., etc., etc. You can see 40 throughout Scripture. It is a complete cycle. You don't need me to break down every 40, but just think about it. King David ruled for 40 years. King Solomon ruled for 40 years. etc., etc., etc. So it's all there. But instead of me presenting you with scripture that you have to break down and interpret, mathematics is something that you can use for yourself. It's clear. It's nothing to interpret. You see the math, it speaks for itself. Either you accept it or you don't. There is no third option. There is no, I don't believe that's true. Okay, that's fine. But when you're dealing with mathematics, either you do or you don't. When you're dealing with God, either you submit to the truth or you don't. And you want to call free will because you choose not to. Now, when you're dealing with mathematics and you're dealing with the truth, either you do or you don't. Period. Either you understand or you don't. And math is the only language that can guarantee you the absolute. Now that's what makes 9 so significant. Because whenever you're dealing with 9 and you stay in the motion to get the 9, it's a guarantee when you get there. So everything that you multiply by 9 will equal 9 when you break it down to the single root number. It's the only number that you can do that with. 9 is the complete number, period. I don't care if you even study numerology or whatever. 9 is the complete number. Now here, follow me here. Number 7, right? You can start at any number and you can start anywhere. You can start even with a 2-digit number and just start adding 9 and you see what I'm talking about here. You start at the single number, number 7. You add 9, that's 16. You add 9, it's 25. You add 9, it's 34, 43, 52, 61, and 70. When you break them all down, guess what you got? 7. 7. 6 plus 1 is 7. 2 plus 5 is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. 43 is just the other way around. That, just another way around. That's it. And then you get to 70. You keep going. You add 9. You get to 79. 9 plus 6 is 16. 7. It is a constant. Would you add what you are aiming to be, the completion will make sure when you're at that level and when you're going through your journey, as long as you are true to yourself and striving for completion, the universe will guarantee you will get there because you even out. That's why we say mathematics, okay, is is your true language, is your true religion. It's our messenger told us that uh, mathematics is Islam and Islam is mathematics. You can't get around freedom, justice, and equality. It's in the math. It's in the mathematics. This is not my opinion. This is not what I just think. You can keep me out of the equation. That's why I just most often just stay out the videos. Look at it. You could do 5 the same way. Add 9, 14. Add 9, 23. Add 9, 32. Add 9, 41. Add 9, 50. 59, 68. Look at 8. Same thing. 8. Add 9, 17. Break it down. That's 8. You break the 26 down. That's 8. Break the 35 down. That's 8. 8, 8, 8. Take one of the keys. One of the cycles of life. Take 3. Add 9. Look at him. 12. Look at that. 21. 30. 39. You break these numbers down. What you going to get? You're going to get 3. Because 9 is the number that this is all leading to. And this is what us, it's a guarantee that if we submit and use our mathematically theology, the universe will make sure we become to a completed state. What Satan never wants you to realize, he never wants you to realize your completed state of existence, how you can get there. If you just stay steadfast to your journey and don't drift off and start messing around with the foolishness that he has created in order for you to survive. He has taken the land from you, and you get taxed for the land that you live on as though he is the owner. He didn't create this planet. There is no government that has man under that has created the planet. Period. Not one. We have to start looking at our external world for what it is. It is external. We can't let that world define us, as Jesus said. I'm in this world like we all are, but I'm not of it. I'm not of this world. He said, there's many things I can tell you, but you can't bear them now. So when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will lead you into all truth. When are you going to start being led to all truth? You think you're going to do that by following the examples of all of those who have done before you? Are you afraid to come up with the original thought? Are you afraid to approach your language? And you think that mathematics is just going to blend so easily into this external society? Okay, like some people can say, okay, so what's the big deal about these patterns of life? What's so big about 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9? Well, if you stop and think about just that one pattern that you've been taught about all your life, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you didn't know any. Most of us don't know anything about 483, 726, 159, 753, 186, 429. You're not aware how them patterns should, all 3 of them should have been on the board when you were in school, because all of them work in harmony. You're just not aware of the other 2. But our financial systems and the way we have engineered things and so forth, it's all come about. Man has used the numbers to make all his engineering, his financial systems, build houses. It's all about measures. It's all about mathematics. But we focus on everything but the math. There is no way that you can look at another human being in disgust and a lack of respect if you truly was working with the mathematics, because you'll realize that no matter how far or that person is living, there are certain environments that person was born into. It could have been something that while they were in the womb, that, how that child was carried, what he was around when he came out. It's so much goes into shaping you as a human being when you are not in the proper environment, when you are not properly raised. These things are felt. Your senses pick up that environment, and it's like you have some innate bad things that have been put in that bloodline into that mentality while your mother and your father were carrying that. They pass it on. That's just biology. And some people who study that field know this, but to get certain things passed, so you can start teaching that and XYZ and all this stuff. It's hard to get these kind of messages across to the people to realize that. So if you start working the math in your life and start knowing how these patterns, and if you want freedom, justice, and equality for yourself, you also want that for your brother, for your sister, for all mankind. You don't want to be exalted and in a higher position than they are. You want the unity, because by that, if all of us have the understanding and are striving to that understanding, we all are living in a better harmony. The world is a safer place. We all looking out for one another. Now, what is actually stopping us from doing that? We fight over interpretations of scriptures. There has been wars over religions, but there's only one. And I showed you in mathematics, there is no number like one. And there is no number like 9. It is the completion. And when you put the 1 and the 9 together, you got the number 19. And the number 19 is the number of the Son of Man. It is the complete one. There is none like him. And the very next number to 1 is us, 2. That's why 2 is us. Because he said, let us make man in our image and our likeness. The one has given us unlimited understanding, unlimited love, unconditional love. A lot of people can't get that concept. They cannot love somebody that so-called hates them. If anybody's hating you, they're sick. They're not well. And you walking around hating somebody, you ain't well. Wanting to get vengeance and do all this stuff, that's not healthy. I'm not telling anyone to back down from Satan. I'm not saying that. But it's not healthy to be walking around with that hate. There's nothing healthy about that.
The external world can be extremely stressful because it is so unnatural. The math evens it out. In one of my videos, I point to the fact there is no greater than or less than in mathematics, because all the numbers that are on the board right now, 16, it's only 16 ones. 25, it's 25 ones. The largest number on here, let me see, 71. 71 ones and 14 ones. You put them ones together, they equal 85. 14 ones, 71 ones. This is what this is. So let's not bring in the weight, how much each one of these ones weigh, or how strong these 14 is compared to these 71. I'm not talking about that, because when you start dealing with that, then you start dealing with variables. But just as what it is, the basic root of what 71 and 5 and 14 is. There's 14 ones, 71 ones. You look at these 71 ones and these 14 ones, you tell me out of these 14 ones, these 71 ones, which one is greater? They are ones. They are ones. Just because you got them in the 14, you break it down as 5. You break that down as 8. If 8 was truly greater than 5, in every true sense of the word, you could not add them to equal. They wouldn't even equal anything, because they will always be off balance. So, like I say, the universe is life. These are 5 lives. These are 8 lives. You add these two together, that's 13. If you couldn't add them to equal, that means you would never equal. Period. If you can always equal, that means you got the one that's making you equal. Period. Mathematics is always can equal, because the one is in every number. Equal. He is the equalizer. Period. There is no either you can take it or you can leave it alone, because it ain't no third option. It ain't no third option. Whenever you get to an option, or universally speaking, you're going to go through a cycle. 3, 6, and 9. Those are the keys. Those are the cycles of life. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. The mathematics is everywhere. The math is all around us. We walking around on the so-called planet Earth, on these so-called continents that we named. I'm speaking English. If I go over to another country and that native language, I don't know how to speak certain dialects. I can barely speak English. Now I can speak some slang better than most. And now, I can do that. And I'm comfortable doing that. But when it comes to mathematics, true communication through frequency and vibration, and through the harmony of the notes and the music, true communication, you start sending your frequencies. You start talking to each other eye to eye. You will know what the person is thinking without saying a word, if we truly pay attention to one another. The problem with the so-called man these days is that we don't want to listen to one another. We got all these barriers up in our mind. Oh, well, that's an Hispanic person. I don't like them. Oh, that's a Japanese. Oh, Chinese. Oh, I don't like them. Oh, they from Canada. Canada's are, I don't like Canadians. Oh, I don't like Africans. They are just too wild for me. Oh, I don't like people from France. All this kind of stuff. All this unusual type of competition. You know, if all of us recognize in mathematics, there's only one. There's only one number that you can add. Period. There's only one number that started all of this. And if God was going to be a number, the only number he could be is one, because that's all he is. He is one. You can have all these little statues and say, oh, that's a God, but what are you using all the time? We use math and don't even realize it. We use mathematics all the time. Even when your senses, our sight, when we see something and we see the shape of it, we know if we can get into it or do we have to go around it. If it's real thin, we know we can't squeeze into it, so we go around it or we climb over it. That's mathematics. We've already done a measurement. And if you realize truly that on a clear night that you can look up and see the stars, and you seeing all your forefathers got the sky lit up, and all that is out there, all of that is part you. And if you continue the journey, you look at the numbers. If we continue the journey, the completion is guaranteed. And when you become a 9 till you're a completed state, whatever you touch, you are making it into fruition. Like Jesus said, I can make you fishermen of men. I'm going to give you the understanding that if you teach people the truth, you give them the mathematics, they can come to a completed thought. They can come into the understanding of the original thought. We have to start working on how we think so we can really truly see how a true original man acts. His proper manner when he's using his mathematic theology to acquire his heaven on earth. It is done in a loving manner. It is done in a caring manner. He's not coming and doing bloodshed and ripping you to pieces. He's not forcing you by gun and force. He wants to uplift you and bring you to heights because he got love to give, because it is an abundance. He's not sharing and trying to preserve for himself. He's giving you everything he got. It's unconditional. He's not looking for you to return the favor. It's unconditional love. We live in a state of grace. I want those of you who have been despised. I want those of you who have been rejected. I want those of you who are feeling lost. For those of you who are down. For those of you who have been outcast. Those of you who the world has given up on. I want the mathematics to go to the prisons. I want the mathematics to go to the ghettos all over the world. I want the mathematics to uplift the people. People used to make mockery out of Jesus, the historical Jesus, because but he came out of Nazareth. The people of that town said that he came from a bastard family. He was looked down upon. Okay. He wasn't going to the so-called high priest of his time. He was going to the lowly. He was going to those who have been rejected and despised. He was after those who the world didn't want no more, who everybody wrote off. If you can raise a person from the dead and give them the truth, where there ain't no option, either you're going to do or you don't. When you say we're going to let the dead bury the dead, you come and follow this truth. We are going to take on the mindset of the living. We coming to make all things new. So when you start on this path, and when you look at the lessons that I have out there, we all need to seek and study. I still study the math. I've been studying this stuff for 40 years or more. Ever since 79. What is that? I don't know. I ain't top of my head. But what's that? Yeah, so 40 years was like 2019. Yeah, I heard the lecturer warning to the hypocrites. For those of you who are in the understanding, you know exactly what I mean. For those of you who are in the understanding, you don't have no problem. Well, you shouldn't have any problem for what you're seeing on that board, because it's supreme mathematics. For those of you who are in the understanding, this is supreme mathematics. Nobody is lying to you. I can't lie about the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Period. There's no scripture that you have to break down. Look at the math. Look at the number 9. This is simple arithmetic, but we have to learn how to make the math spiritual and in your daily life. It is nothing for you to be stressed out about, for a simple reason. We know the one. And we have to get into these lessons. I said I was going to speak on each number. I have completed that. All I'm trying to do here as a teacher is to motivate you to get into the math for your freedom, for your justice, for equality, for you can come into that understanding. And the gift of life that we have been given, because it is a gift and it's giving. And the one, the love of the one. And as always, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. Thank you for listening.